In the vast tapestry of human history, few stories shine as brightly as the tale of Esther, a young Jewish woman whose courage and faith changed the fate of an entire nation. It's a story of danger, divine providence, and an extraordinary queen who risked her life to save her people. Today, we journey into ancient Persia, a world of opulent palaces, royal decrees, and the shadow of death, to uncover how Esther's bravery became a beacon of hope for generations to come. Before we dive into this remarkable narrative, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and leave a comment saying, "God bless you." Together, let's spread light and hope to the world. ####The rise of a queen. Our story begins in the mighty Persian Empire during the reign of King Xerxes, known in the Bible as Ahasuerus. The king ruled over 127 provinces, stretching from India to Ethiopia. Amidst the grandeur of his court, a critical moment unfolded. The king, displeased with Queen Vashti's refusal to appear before him during a banquet, declared her dethroned. This opened the way for a kingdom-wide search for a new queen. In the capital city of Susa, a young Jewish woman named Hadassah lived with her cousin Mordecai, who had raised her after the death of her parents. Known by her Persian name, Esther, she was beautiful, graceful, and filled with a quiet strength. When the king's edict summoned young women from across the empire to the palace, Esther was among them. Under the watchful eyes of the royal officials, Esther found favor and was chosen as queen. However, Mordecai warned her to keep her Jewish identity a secret, as anti-Semitism simmered beneath the surface of Persian society. ###The threat of Haman. While Esther adjusted to life in the palace, a dangerous man rose to power. Haman, an Amalekite and a trusted advisor to the king. Haman's arrogance knew no bounds, and he demanded reverence from all who crossed his path. Mordecai, however, refused to bow, declaring his allegiance to God alone. Haman's fury turned into a sinister plan. Discovering Mordecai's Jewish heritage, he sought not only to punish him, but to annihilate the entire Jewish population in the Persian Empire. He convinced King Xerxes to issue a decree allowing the destruction of all Jews, a plot sealed with the king's signet ring. The Jewish community was plunged into despair. Mordecai, draped in sackcloth and ashes, wept in the streets of Susa. He sent word to Esther, urging her to intercede with the king. But Esther faced an impossible dilemma. Approaching the king uninvited was punishable by death unless he extended his golden scepter. ###Esther's courage. In this critical moment, Esther's faith and bravery came to the forefront. She sent a message to Mordecai, instructing him to gather all the Jews in Susa to fast and pray for 3 days. "If I perish, she declared, demonstrating her willingness to sacrifice her life for her people. On the 3rd day, Esther donned her royal robes and approached the king. The throne room fell silent as she entered uninvited. But God's hand was with her. The king extended his scepter, inviting her to speak. Instead of revealing her request immediately, Esther invited the king and Haman to a banquet. At the feast, she showed remarkable wisdom and patience, inviting them to a second banquet the following night. ###The turning point. That night, divine providence intervened. The king, unable to sleep, ordered the royal records to be read to him. He discovered that Mordecai had previously uncovered a plot to assassinate the king, but had never been rewarded. The next morning, the king commanded Haman to honor Mordecai publicly, a bitter humiliation for Haman. At the second banquet, Esther revealed her true identity as a Jew and exposed Haman's wicked plot. "If we had merely been sold as slaves, I would have remained silent," she said. "But my people and I are to be destroyed." King Xerxes, enraged, stormed out. Haman, realizing his doom, threw himself at Esther's feet to beg for mercy. The king returned to see Haman's apparent assault on the queen and ordered his immediate execution. In a twist of irony, Haman was hanged on the very gallows he had prepared for Mordecai. #victory for God's people. Although Haman was dead, his edict could not be revoked. Esther and Mordecai worked together to issue a new decree, allowing the Jews to defend themselves against their enemies. When the appointed day arrived, the Jews triumphed, their faith and unity securing their survival. Mordecai was elevated to a position of power, and Esther's bravery was celebrated throughout the empire. The Jews established the festival of Purim to commemorate their deliverance, a joyous reminder of how God works through ordinary people to achieve extraordinary outcomes. Esther's story is a testament to the power of faith, courage, and divine providence. She rose from obscurity to become a queen and a savior for her people, proving that God can use anyone, regardless of their circumstances, to fulfill His plans. If this story inspired you, don't forget to check out our store in the description below for religious items like necklaces, rings, and art pieces that help keep God close to you every day. Esther's legacy reminds us that, like her, we are called to stand firm in our faith and act boldly for what is right. Will you answer that call today?